using it for the phone.
You're not even gonna bother with
The computer's not working. How we do?
Yeah, how we doing?
How we doing, everybody? Hey, could someone get this set up over here, maybe? You know how to work it?
Oh, the password. We're gonna go probably in the restroom.
Do some sales coffee.
Yeah.
Actually, we should.
I could see you being at home like, hey, I need to pee.
Bro, he's in the bathroom, I swear.
Like 15
All right.
minutes a day.
In the bathroom.
You guys got the questions ready? Everybody's joining. We got Blake.
Hey. Hey.
How we doing, everybody? Can you hear me? Oh, I gotta start my. Can you see me? No, you can't. How we doing? I didn't get the camera together. Welcome, everybody. We have people live in the studio. We have Christina, Andre. People are still coming in. The link wasn't showing up as well. I was a few minutes on there. What's up, Pat? See, we got Lyda, Blake. Who else we got? PJ, Andres, Javon. Awesome. So, sales coffee. You guys have your coffee ready? Oh, you don't have to.
I just finished it. I could use another one though. He's like, you got your coffee ready. It's so awkward. But nope, no coffee.
So last time we did the sales coffee, you know, a big part of it we did over, you know, assuming the sale, asking the $3 to $5 question. I went over the hour power, which I just hired a young stud, 22 years old in there in the PowerPoint, the enhanced jobs on there. I think like that is just such a slam dunk on that PowerPoint. But if you could tie in the needs into there, it's something that is so smooth, sells itself, and what we use in the overview, and just makes everything so simple, that enhanced job. So we'll talk about that a bit. You know, assuming the sale, you guys are putting up some great numbers. Christina, you know, you're putting up some huge numbers. Marquise, Natalie getting out there released. I saw Natalie put up some big calls. I was looking at the data, some like, you know, huge activity. So great job with that. Like, you know, great stuff. But I want to kind of open it up, and you know, I don't know what education level you guys are at. Some of you guys are released. Some of you guys are getting into leadership. Some of you guys are building teams, getting personal hires, which definitely that clock on that 90-day ticker for that 750, you guys got to take advantage of that, capitalize on that. I know we have a lot of interviews. Marissa has a personal coming in today right after this. So we're getting pumped. Putting up some big, we're thinking we're almost at 4 or 5 hires this week. So nice. We're growing, everybody's growing. So take advantage of the Just One contest. Let's get everyone out to the dinner and a movie. Fun event, and we'll all be growing. All it takes, just one person to spark your deal. But let's get some questions. Welcome, talking about maybe some tough ones you're going over, what you run into, or what you want to hear me go over. I could rip the 2 job again. I mean, or, you know, whatever you guys want to see me do, kind of open it up a bit for some virtual sales coffee. Some question and answer, something you've been running into. All right. In studio, Spider-Man. Spider-Man, he's a sleeper athlete. The kid can jump. He's quick. When I first played basketball, we played yesterday, I'd be like, man, the kid is good. But great skills. All right, what's your question?
Thank you, appreciate it. For calling wills, like I feel like a lot of times these will get people are just like you call them, half of them been called a million times, and as soon as you say their name, they like hang up, or they're just like not interested and they hang up. Like, I don't know. It's like the one thing I always get beat on. I don't know how to, like, what the best way is to say something to like keep them on the line and like, turn
Right.
them over, but.
And I completely know, because I've, Will's, just his question was some tips on will kits, which that's one of my strengths, because I come from Philadelphia running our team out there where we were running 3-year, I'm not just saying this, 2 or 3-year-old child safety leads that are tough, like 3 years old. They fill out this, their kids might be graduated by now or something, like, you know what I mean? So we're running older leads. So when the will kit started, I was in Philly, and it was a fresh, great lead that I was happy to have them. So I come from a little bit different to where we weren't spoiled with leads. So that's why we got to get better on referrals. Like, I was way better on referrals. Like, the agency's doing crappy on referrals. Like, our team had 1 referral set yesterday. I don't want to like flip out or anything, but it's something that we can't do. We had 50% of your schedule. 50%. What's up, Roy? 50% of your schedule has to be referrals, or you're leaving. I do it in training class. You would never leave your wallet on their table, because each referral is a $20 or $50 bill. If you forget it, you're not going to forget your wallet in their house or your purse when you go to in-home sit. So we have to smash referrals, get them on your schedule, preset appointments. Yeah, we only had 1, which is pretty bad for our team on like, we didn't have super round, but 20, 30 appointments. So we got to kick up the game on referrals. That will help the will kits, but will kits, you don't want to get hung up on. Like, they can be a tough lead, just to be honest with you. They're not, from their workplace, from their group, association, from their credit union. So those are some very good, strong leads that we're blessed to have in our packs, depending on the amounts. But the will kits, it's a place to be. It's a reason to be there, and you know exactly what to say. So I would say if they did hang up on you, hopefully things blow over. I mean, to where you want to get through it quick. Hey, I just need to verify what you entered, so we get this sent out to you. And I've heard a lot of rebuttals to where, I thought you're going to mail it. Or what are some other rebuttals? Oh, I got it done a lot. You really have to kind of change their mind and be pretty quick at let them know, look, this is going to save you some money. Even if you did get your will, hey, the worst case, you can actually see if it's properly done, because this is done by attorneys that are trained in this area, or, whatever you want to say that is going to make sure you have your documents done properly, that you didn't forget anything, or maybe you forgot a thing or two. Maybe I can actually educate you on a few things for your family. And here's the line. Everybody write this down. This has worked for me a lot. On a will kit rebuttal, well, you were probably thinking about your family. I don't know who I heard that from. I stole that from somebody. I think it was Nick Moore, but I definitely didn't make it up myself, but it works. You were probably thinking about your family. You wanted to get these things taken care of once and for all. But the will kit script can be wordy. You know what I mean? It can be a little bit. So rather than getting hung up on, you have to be busy, important, in control, and smiling and dialing. And it's like all that together, like you're talking to your grandma. I think I went over like an agent was on the phone, and he was just like didn't have enough energy. It was like really soft. And I was like, imagine you were talking to someone at the bar and it was a grandma.
Cougar bar.
You gotta be yelling.
You know what I mean? Blake's like, that was yesterday. I was hitting off the grandmas at the bar. I'm kidding. Cougar night.
I can't get away from them.
Casey, you said you just rolled right into, I just need to verify, right? Like after you say, I'm a director with the free will kit program, it's just.
I'm with American Director with the free will kit program. It's just my job to verify what you entered, so we can get that sent out to you. And I want to verify very quickly before I get hung up on their address and email and the time and all that, like very smoothly, that have their will kit, that I, rather than losing the lead, like I like every lead I like try to take really good care of, because it's like,
Do you guys ever just say, yeah, we have you scheduled out for delivery, you just need to find a good time to with that? Is that working better? Because with the wills too, like as soon as they hear like my name or American Income.
yeah, it's just my job to get that sent out to you. Whatever, you're one of the members that hasn't received their package. And also building it up in a sense that it's very quick. Write down, it's very quick. It just takes a few minutes, because I can explain the will kit in 3 minutes. And I tell people that I really can pull it up on their computer and add value and educate them in a matter of 3 minutes and prove to them I know way more shit than they do about this. And questioning and gaining information for our presentation. Right? So that's why.
Okay, so Casey, if you're like, it's real quick, Volcano Brilliant takes 3 minutes, what's going to stop them from being like, oh, I have 3 minutes now, just explain over the phone? If it's
great, go pull up your email. I'm going to send you a link. It's just some very important information so I can make sure this gets sent out to you. The way it's set up is I have to show you the workbook section, and that's how you can save some money with this discount card. So go ahead and pull up your email. Let me know when you're ready. We'll do it right now.
I have a question. So I run into some of these wills and they're like this one lady, she was like,
I'm always ready to present. We could do a presentation right now. All right, sorry. She has a question in the house here.
In-house, in the studio. Anyways, I've had some wills be like I'm just like, yeah, like I need to explain it to you. And then some people are like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And some people are like, well, like you said, they kind of just like think they know everything. But I've had ran into a decent amount of people that are like, I'm a notarizer, or like I do notaries. Like
I'm a notary.
Like I don't need this. Or I had someone yesterday, she was nice and she actually understood, like, yeah, I got to explain it to you. She was like, that makes perfect sense. But she was like, I'm a licensed funeral director, so I kind of like know what to do.
Perfect. Then you will love saving money, and you will love this freedom of choice, because we can actually probably get some people to come to your location we can work together now.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, like with the notary, like saying,
because this is good money.
Hey,
This is money that you can use at your place too.
Send people to your,
We're giving them money for pennies on a dollar with the freedom of choice. But yeah, freedom director.
So you said perfect. You'll love saving money, and you.
Well, that's a rare situation if you sit with the funeral director. I mean, if you're sitting with the funeral director, that's great. You're gonna get some rebuttals that sometimes it's gonna really be hard to overcome, whether it's like, hey, my brother's a financial advisor, or my mom told me this, or you know what I mean? Those are going to be some tough ones, because if it's a family member or they work in a funeral home, they may think that they're taken care of, or, but they definitely, if you're running the system, you can't prejudge what they really tell you no matter what. I'm not buying anything. Someone told me last week, okay, but you didn't see me. And you didn't see Faith or Marissa, anybody, what I mean? So if they were seen last week or last month, I always say, hey, what, you didn't fill out any of your medical questions. What happened on that? Did they go over any of your medical questions for your option B, the permanent ones? Because obviously, if sometimes they can go over it, or maybe it got cut out, maybe they dropped the call, maybe it was a new agent, they just lost connection, didn't go over the option B. I've had agents in the home to where they just only received the child safety kit, and they didn't even offer them coverage somehow. This is like years back in the field. So you never really know. It could have been another agency. Maybe they weren't trained properly like we were. So, will kits, any type of lead, you just want to make sure that you're verifying what they're set up, what they requested, building it up, because maybe it's taking a step back, slowing it down, and really just having a conversation with them. Really what you're going to offer them. You're going to save them money with the discount card, and maybe it's a needs analysis survey, or maybe whatever it is, to where you're going to explain to them, we're going to make sure you're permanently taken care of because you were thinking about your family with the will. Even if it's saving you $500 over $1,000 with the will and the discount card.
So you mentioned all those benefits on the phone.
I mean, sometimes, saving money depending on the client, but you can have a disgruntled client, I mean, you're going to have a certain percentage of the people that are just going to be a jerk. I mean, there's nothing you can do, and you're going to have, but if you overall have your presentation, have your systems down to where you're looking at your numbers, you're analyzing your data, you're 20 to 30, but shout out, Marissa was great on the phones the past. I was looking at the numbers. She was like 9 appointments to a set. Normally it's like 20 to 30. So you're booking 9. So great job on the phones, Marissa. I was looking at the data, but that's improved with referrals as well, to where you're booking more clients. And this is day 2 of training. I go over how many referrals will you book that of the percentage that you collect. So if you collect 30 referrals for the week, how many are you going to set again? 10. So you're going to set 33% of the referrals we collect. So if you want to get an extra 10 appointments booked, all you need to do is guarantee you collect more than 30 referrals. And that's going to give you more at-bats. And with more at-bats, you're going to get more points on the board. And it's going to be easier for you. And you're going to, all day 2 training stuff. Question and over here.
Yeah, how do you call, like, what's the best way to go about calling globe lapses? And like,
Great question.
Yeah.
Everyone asked me like 4 times a phone night. This is great.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll just.
I love globe lapses first and foremost. Why? Because number one, a globe lapse, that's our parent company under our umbrella of protections, to where they know what life insurance is. They know they need life insurance. They tried to get life insurance before. Currently, they don't have life insurance. You guys feel me? You guys like, that's a pretty great freaking lead. Like, the table's set. So we've had a couple, this is just yesterday, they went with someone else. Good. Or if you have to be, they weren't happy with Globe. So you say, hey, we're with the good thing. That's exactly why I'm calling. That's exactly why I'm calling. So that works for many, pretty much everything. That's exactly why I'm calling. I'm actually with American Income. We handle the programs for all the police, NFL, Players Association, firefighters. They actually have to pay dues to get access to these programs. So lucky you, because you teamed up with our parent company, Globe, they actually got you the same 4 no-cost benefits they actually have to pay dues for. It's pretty amazing. The discount card, free will kit. Have you had a will? Oh, you don't have a will. Wow, that's amazing. And then access to some permanent funeral benefits that you would have to qualify for, but these are paid by dues that you don't have to pay them. Lucky you. So it's very quick. All I need your email so I can get this sent out to you. Okay, you and your spouse. When are you home tonight? Oh, you're home at 6 o'clock. I'm very booked up. I just have a few minutes at 7, and we're gonna get you taken care of. Check your email. I'm gonna send you an email right now.
I love how sensitive you are.
So when you're talking to them, it's almost like in a sense where, like, in like a final review, you kind of go more for like the insurance. You're like more in it. Like, they know that it's for the insurance.
It's like an insurance lead. It's
Yeah.
Globe Life
Yeah,
Insurance.
lucky.
So you can be a little more direct, a lot more direct. We had a lady, we have one today. I don't want to jinx us or anything. I hope I'm not jinxing us talking about it, but.
It's okay. We'll talk
But
about it.
she's like, yeah, I got Primerica. I'm good to Mason. I'm like, great. You know what Primerica is always what? Term. So she went from Globe to Primerica. So, I mean, that's huge. That is huge.
Sorry.
So hopefully that's what turns out good for us today. But it's more towards, and Mason did a good job at setting the stage, because we had one, the great person that did not know how their Primerica works. So when you have them open that Primerica policy and they see that it could be ACH $2,000 out of their bank account in like 12 years from now. Isn't that kind of crazy? They don't even tell them that it's going to skyrocket. So if you have them flip through their Primerica policies, you're going to be paying like $2,000 a month for the same policy.
In the future.
Yeah. So go to the cost of insurance. They'll see how much you're paying annually now. Oh, go ahead and look in that 21st year. If it's a 20-year term, they're going to be like, you have to, their jaw's going to drop. Right. So
Casey, I have
Do you call them like saying that their globe policies lapse, or do you call them saying that we're just like their policy? Like,
well, we do usually call them, say, hey, this is Dalton with American Income. I was calling because you teamed up, you had a policy through Globe that has lapsed. That's actually our parent company or sister company, however you want to say it. Or I've heard before you say we're under the Globe umbrella of companies, to where lucky you, because you teamed up, you were a member through Globe. They got you access to the same programs that our members have to pay for, dues. Lucky you, you don't have to pay those dues. So you're getting access to these programs. Everybody likes saving money. So they got discount cards. You can save you up to 85% on all your medical expenses, even dental up to 40%, glasses, a free will kit, last will and testament. Have you ever had a will? Oh, you don't? That's definitely could save you an average of $500. And then access to our permanent benefit programs that you would typically have to pay dues. You do have to qualify for, but you would have them forever. Funeral benefits, cash value life insurance, paycheck protection, mortgage protection, you can even throw in there. So yeah, Globes, great, because we always, from the beginning, we would say they were such a good lead that we just want to door knock them. But now obviously we can't door knock them now, because you show up, they're not going to slam the door in your face as much as hang up on you when they realize, because they had business through Globe. But I've had with some pretty good luck with Globes recently.
I was gonna say, like in Aubrey's case the other day, I know she had a Globe lapse, and this woman said that she had to cancel it because she couldn't afford, what was it, like 15? Something so minimal.
It was, I believe, her annual premium for the whole year was only like $1,000. It was so.
It was
super low.
either her monthly premium was like $30, and
she told me she couldn't afford it. So I'm actually meeting with her.
Oh, good. But I was gonna say, I'm like, in these cases, because I feel like a lot of times when people's policies do lapse, it is because they thought they couldn't afford it or whatever it was. And so I'm like, whether it's on the phone or whether it's when you get in the sit and you try to sell them, how do you beat the I can't afford it when they're like, look, girl, I canceled this because I couldn't afford it the first time. What makes you think I can afford it now? Type shit.
Well, hopefully you can.
Yeah, I always try to schedule those people, because you never really know what they had, how much it is. You could show them programs for $5, $5 a week or $10 a week program or something comfortable, because some protection is going to beat not having any for your family. And I always explain to them they have new programs that have come out, or because these people probably have never seen a needs analysis, have never gone over an enhanced job, or just kind of going over a different angle.
Okay.
Because people's needs change. They may have new children, head starts, just so many, or obviously collecting referrals.
Hey, Casey.
Yes.
Patrick's had a question for like 5 minutes.
Oh, sorry about that. I'm not seeing everybody. I'm switching through. And
I got one after him, but he's first in line.
Perfect.
Like,
Hey, can we get this computer going for the?
I don't know the password.
It's Legend 2020. Go ahead, Pat. Let's hear it.
I keep getting beat on people that have policies. Like, I'm really struggling them to go grab their policy, especially.
Great. A lot of new agents do. No, that's normal.
And
I'll go over that. I'll go over that for you.
Yeah, and because I have a lady today actually who has told me on the phone she has Prime America, so I was just.
Oh, well, that's a slam dunk. It doesn't get much easier than that. The table's set for you, pal.
Yeah.
Dinner's ready. That's the best. Get your manager on with you for sure, just to make sure, because a lot of times it's very important not to. They want to check with the other company and all of these things. So you have to proactively beat that rebuttal. And after you get beat 19 times with it, you realize I'm not going to get beat by that again. So Legend 2020. Sorry. And so, with that, I usually do a lot in the family information guide where you're proving to them how much you know, and it's how you ask them. And some of the power phrases, hey, be a lot more direct, create the problem. We've seen members that have had Primerica have terms that we're terminating. Never say whole life at that point, because a lot of people pick that during the family information guide. I always ask them, have you ever heard, we've seen a lot of members that have had policies that were terminating, that were skyrocketing, that were going up in cost, that were getting chewed up, flexible universal policies. Very important, because all of a sudden it skyrockets. They're paying $2,000 a month, or their coverage ends and their family has nothing. And sometimes their health has changed. They can't even qualify. So very important, Pat, while I'm out here, just to make sure that you have a guarantee for your family, go ahead and grab that while I'm out here, pretty much. You know, you have to just make sure you're not asking if it takes, very important, because if you can't find it now, imagine if something happened, how is your son Joe going to find it?
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's a good point.
Ooh,
So go ahead and grab it. We have to make sure that it's number one going to be there. And it's just my job to make sure. That's why I'm licensed in this area, to make sure you have a guarantee for your family.
Gotcha. So when I go through like term and whole with her, could I be like, this is your coverage through Primerica?
Yeah, just grab it, Pat. If it takes 5 minutes, it'll save us an hour.
All right.
See, that's a power phrase. If it takes 5 minutes, it'll save us an hour. But then what was your other part? I had something else I want to tell you. What were we just talking about?
So Faith had another good one to say right before the needs to get them to pull it.
Well, this is something like Nolan told me a bit ago, because I could not pull a policy to save my life, like for the longest time. And then something that if you know they have something, whether it's through us or someone else, you say like, hey guys, your last no cost benefit is your needs analysis. This is where we plug in any coverage that you already have to make sure that the gaps are covered. So that when at the end, when you go to pull it, they're not like, why does this person, they just want to see what life insurance I have, you're like, no, like, if I don't have your coverage, we don't know what it is, because I make it very level handed. I'm like, we might not even know if you need anything, so like we have to make sure the gaps are covered, because you might not even need anything, Joe, but how are we going to know that if we don't see your policy? Because then it's like another seed that's planted. And
Right.
And they expect you to like ask about their policy again, because you just told them we need your policy.
What do you say again? Just so like
You're like, this is where we're gonna plug in any coverage that you have,
To make
find
sure all
your
the gaps
gaps
are covered.
that you have, make sure all your gaps are covered.
And I always proactively try to beat these things to where I can't tell you how many times people have told me they had a certain amount of coverage, but then when they went and grabbed it, it was either A, nothing what they thought it was, or B, a completely different number. And I'll do that with policyholders. I'll say, okay, let me ask you before we get into, before we cut to the chase, because POS, they want to know what they have. So don't tell them until that's your like the end of the movie. Right? So making sure you're not just jumping into that, because they'll want to ask on the phone in the beginning, hey, we're going to get to that. That's going to be the answer to, I can't give the answer to the pop quiz in 5 minutes. That's the answer to the quiz I'm about to give you in 5 minutes.
He literally will say that.
So, with that, I'll say, what type of coverage do you think you have? I'll explain the coverages. What type do you think you have? And then B, how much of that coverage do you think you have? And you'll be surprised. So many times, just happened a couple of days ago to me for the millionth time. It was more than they thought they actually had. So you can always put that in your back pocket. Well, we're going to get you to what you thought you had originally. You just told me for your family.
This is after term and whole, right? Or whenever? Well,
Or POS.
For educating, like, if they did have a POS or other coverages at that point, you want to make sure they're grabbing those just to make sure that they can flip through that. I can't tell you, because if it's a universal whole life or flexible whole life, I've always explained a lot of members had a policy a while, they're paying a certain amount, but then it gets chewed up because the cost of insurance goes up every year. And what flexible universal coverage does, it builds cash in the beginning, but as the cost goes up, it slowly chews up all that cash. And then you get a bill that if you don't pay $500 a month, your policy's going to lapse. So very important. We've seen members go ahead and grab that while we're going over your needs analysis. That way we know for sure that it's going to be a guarantee. Because if you don't know now, or we're not certain, we have to make sure that we're going to make sure your family has a guarantee and you're going to have some permanent coverage. Because you don't, Joe, for anything like me, you don't want to pay anything more than you have to. And that's something I say a lot.
Casey, what's a good way to build urgency for a POS? Because there's no like qualifying period or that type of language. They think it's BS because they already have a policy,
Well, it's urgency within your presentation, the whole thing. It's having a good presentation, creating the need properly, really hammering home more where they buy you, number one, two. So it's everything. It's rapport. POS is more freestyle sales. So you have to sometimes put out a fire in the beginning, build it up again, and re-educate and resell it and get them want to buy again and buy you.
But for if you did all that and they picked an option and everything, and then they're like, oh, I want to think about it. I know I could just increase this 3 months from now, right?
Well, yeah, you can't. You're right. I mean, but in fairness to all the families, I mean, the POS, the mandatory read-off letter comes up in a POS still. So you can still, just in fairness, you still want to handle that rebuttal. I mean, look, if we have to go back to each family, I've had a guy die before. I door knocked him on a Saturday. He died Friday, a heart card. Yeah. I door knocked a guy, saw his family. He died the day before. And I'm like, wow, I should have been here.
Oh, he died
yesterday.
the day. Oh, man.
A heart card.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's.
I sold all his family select policies though.
I mean,
Because that's one of the 3 times people think about it.
Yeah.
Nobody knew.
That's sad.
Yeah, it was Franklin P. I don't remember door knocking. He died the day before. I was like, shit.
That's why every week matters, guys.
Yeah.
Did you have anything?
It was years ago. I forget. I think he had something.
It wasn't us though.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've had a lot of crazy things happen in this business. All good, a lot of great things, crazy things, but help a lot of people. I had a lady, I think I told about, it took me an hour. She died 3 weeks later. This is like months ago. Yeah, I got her 10,000. I got a call from her daughter. She died. It took me an hour to teach her to do an email.
Oh, wow.
A reply all. Yep.
Good.
Yep. So that was a couple things. What we do is real deal stuff, guys. So we got to get out there and they buy you too. And, the other stuff's just extra, We still got a lot of time. So any other questions for you guys? What's some other stuff you're running into? Any?
Going back to the Globe
We
last.
should hear, hey, Christina, really quick, give us some tips. What's working for you? You're out there just rocking the deal. You
Thank
guys
you.
out there, what's working for you? Some tips for some of these guys and gals.
Well, I know we speak on it all the time. Referrals. I have a lot of referral sets. I collect a lot of referrals. I love referrals. They already know what's going on, right? Like they already know that you sold their person life insurance or you sat with them about life insurance or these union benefits. And I think they find a lot of value. Like I have a lot of times where like, if you've built good enough rapport, if you roll your referrals or if you tell them, hey, text them right now, call them right now. As soon as we get off the phone, I'm jumping into a meeting, but I have to make sure they know I'm calling you. I have a New Jersey number. They're not going to pick up for me, whatever. Like, I just like go into the spiel like we do. Right. Not like a lot of times, like I don't really run into it too much. If it was a really good sit where even if it's a no sale, but it was a great sit, I don't run into the problem as much of like people not knowing I'm going to call. They're like, oh yeah, Christina, right? Like they're already excited to hear, whether it's just for the discount card or accepting the beneficiary or whatever it is, they kind of already know. So you're kind of setting yourself up like it's a layup. You know what I mean? Like once you sit down with them, yeah, there's a possibility they might have a lot of coverage, but they don't have our coverage. They don't have our A+ rating or whatever it is. So I think just we speak on referrals all the time, but definitely doing that. Also, like if they tell you they want insurance, you have to make it seem like it's so difficult. Like I have a lot of referrals be like, oh, I actually want life insurance for my family. Like I'm not eager. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting there, oh yeah, great, we'll do that for you. Like, no, like you have to be, guys, that's great. And I'll try to do everything I can. I really will, especially because, mom, Sally, she just told me, she wants the kids protected. She wants your family protected. But the thing is, like, it's really hard to qualify. We get those union negotiated rates. It's just, guys, it's just not that easy. I'm going to do my best to make sure that we get you taken care of, but we'll get to all of that. So what's the best time for you? Like, you're just
Takeaway, it's huge.
like you're making it more difficult for them, because if not, and if you make it seem like you're just there to sell them, they might hit you with more of the, oh, I want to think about it, or I want to shop around, or oh, you're just a salesperson. They're not like seeing, I don't know, busy, important, control. That's basically it.
100%.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like that's mostly for referrals. Obviously, set a lot of appointments. If you guys are virtual, show ratio, right? That could be a problem. But I switched over to Calendly. Actually, Ashley did an amazing.
Yes.
She did an awesome workshop. If you guys haven't seen it, you guys should definitely ask for it. I don't know if that's a thing, but I honestly changed my show ratio a lot. Like, I think that I booked.
Everyone should use Calendly. I've been on Calendly since day one.
Yeah. It's awesome. And also, guys, if you are using Calendly, there's one-on-ones and there's group. Right now, I was taught to do it on the one-on-one. So you set one-on-one appointments, which makes it really difficult. If you switch over your event types to group, you can choose the amount of people that you can book at that time slot. So you could still triple book. Like, I triple book appointments. I don't leave gaps. Like, I want to make sure that every 2 hours I have a guaranteed sit, that I have at least 3 sits in a day. Like, I'm not taking chances on no shows and leaving gaps for people. You can always reschedule. The reason my weekend is always, like, looking pretty booked up is whoever I don't get to on Friday, they understand I'm busy. I've already set that precedent. So when I call them to reschedule them, it just gives me more validation that I'm busy. You know what I mean? So they're not going to be mad that you missed your appointment as long as you're doing it the right way. Try to get in touch with them sometime within that. I give 2-hour time gaps. If I know I'm not going to make it to them, if I give them a 6 to 8, it's almost 8 o'clock and, I'm not done with my current sit. While I'm like still with my people, I shoot a quick email. They don't know what you're doing on your screen. I use that time when I'm writing options. I email, I touch base, and I'm already setting myself up for more appointments for the weekend. I think that's cool.
Love it. And the big thing that stuck out to me was obviously the referrals and the urgency. Like we learned from Natalie, if you guys didn't take notes on that, that's stuff that, like, I learned that like 10 years ago, and it hasn't changed. Like, hey, make sure you thank Christina for sponsoring you. Make sure you thank her because she sponsored you, get these exclusive discounted programs. And I can't come back, unfortunately, because I'm booked. Like, literally, you can show them their schedule. Like, look, I'm swamped and can't come back. So great tips on that. Using the referrals, having the urgency, very important. But yeah, guys, that's going to be the key for everybody. Is just focusing on the referrals, using your networks. Everyone, you can practice with them. They can sponsor you for anyone with kids. Will talk to your network.
I do have a question for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the Globe laps, so like, I've had POS laps with American Income, that no problem, right? You got them back on, you get a better taste in their mouth. But how do you do the same thing for Globe? Obviously, you always want to make it, you don't want to tear down Globe. You still want to have them on a pedestal because it is our parent company. We are within them. So obviously, when you go back through like American Income, you go back through our A+ rating, you're already building that credibility for American Income. But once they know that Globe is our parent and they have a bad taste about Globe, how are you saving Globe's reputation while still building American Income without putting down their past?
Well, I'm just building it up. Globe, everything online, you could say, or whatever they think that, whatever, maybe if they look, they're, there's two sides of the coin. We're their largest life insurance company. Mm-hmm. Build up the numbers, and I would build up the fact that Globe does not have reps. Like, that's exactly why, you're calling them. That's exactly why they had me contact you, because they don't have their direct mailing. That's why from the beginning, almost 100 years, you know, that's how we were contacted. They don't have agents. That's our in the mail. And those checks, I don't know if they're 50,000, they give you a first month for a deal, whether it's like $1 for 50,000 to get you get your foot in the door, basically. And a lot of times Globe was term coverages a lot, to where, and it was direct bill. So if they didn't send their money, obviously the policy lapsed. So, but you know, it's definitely, you know, they can't have some decent coverage through Globe. I would just build it up and make sure that you build up the fact that we work with the groups, the unions, the NFL Players Association, electrical workers, and they actually pay dues to get these, and just build up the savings, build up permanent coverages. And most importantly, they get to work with you.
Okay. Thank you.
Are our rates like better than Globe ones? Are they like the same?
I mean, you know, the rates, it could be our company, another company. Price is never really, if you sell or be sold, Uncle G, Grant Cardone, the price objection. He's like, I can go get a $5 coffee, or I can get like a $2 coffee. The $5 coffee, it's like they get to work with you, their freedom of choice, the convenience, the time, like the service you're providing to them. He talks about he could pay more to go to this gas station because he likes the guy, and he gives him a bottle of water, but he could like go the other guy or something, save money. But so it's most importantly, kind of like your mindset, you know, over price. It's because price, kind of like value over pricing, you know, type deal. But if it's a couple dollars, I never really, that's selling on price. You got to sell more on value and concept and what we're getting. That's why the system we have works so well, because we sell what it's going to do for them, not the numbers. Because when tough stuff gets bad for them, they just see the price and they're going to cut it, not what it's doing for their family. So, you guys, anybody else have a question for me? Go ahead. Don't be shy.
Casey, I've been struggling with something. So especially with our more younger demographic, like the 90s birthdays that we get in our league packs, especially the unions, it's an issue where they buy me, but it's almost like I'm their like a friend now. So when I'm getting to like the end, it's more like, oh, she's my friend. And now
it's a fine line.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I've been
Happens a lot.
struggling, and I asked Tommy about this too, but he's like, you know, friend zones don't get in the end zone. So it's like, how do you be friendly and be nice and they buy you, but they're not like your best friend? Like what's the line there? Like, what do you
I would just stick to the script and maybe stick to the rapport building questions. Try to keep it on task, and don't be talking about a tangent or something.
When you find such a good commonality, it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, you got to know when to click, but you got to get back to being the professional. You got to take them on a roller coaster ride. You got to make them cry, laugh, and be their friend and be the professional like their coach.
Yeah.
Like you got to lead them like a personal trainer. You got to have a difficult conversation with them.
The urgency's not there anymore, because they're like, I can just call her back. She's my friend. Like, you're
As soon as they try to bro you, that's when it's over. So you gotta let them know, like, you gotta put them back in their spot. Like if they even say bro, or it feels like they're thinking bro, or you know, anything like that, you just end it.
Yep. You know, keep it simple. So basically, make sure you're getting the tie downs on the so basically, not just rolling over at the end of so basically paragraph, because that's going to beat, I want to think about it, right? Yeah. Firm tie downs. If they're ignoring you after you say, does that make sense, Joe Mary? Are we on the same page? Huh? Like you can do that. Like, huh? What?
Like, excuse me?
Pardon?
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, and you can, it's just staying on task. And sometimes you want to get to talking, but we're not here to pass out no cost benefits. We're here to enroll them into the meat and potatoes, into the program. So you have to keep it moving. That's why I try to keep my presentations like within an hour.
So what if someone keeps talking and talking about themselves?
Hour and a half.
Oh my gosh, and you're like,
Max.
"Oh, dude, come on, like we gotta get going. Like I have other
Because
things."
I'm always scared that they're gonna be like, all right, well, dog's coming up. Do we have, eat dinner or something? I want to make sure we're able to get to it, but that we're not just wasting time. We're getting referrals. That's why I want to take like 14 minutes for the no cost. I don't want to build it. Just get the referrals, build it up, get the sponsors and keep it moving. Basically, you know what I mean? Because I always feel like,
Do you kind of time yourself?
not really, just to make sure that, I mean, when you're practicing, I would like role playing, put yourself on film. That's what we always used to do. You want to be able to get through it because people have ADD more than ever, and with attention and and you just got to be aware of what's going on. Like I'm looking at the screen.
Validate what they say and then
Like if you're losing Joe and Mary, be like, hey guys, this next section is really important, guys. I'm going to need you to pay attention. This is going to be a valuable section. So, you say things like that. If you're losing them or getting them on tie downs, you want their head shaking the whole time. That's why the presentations used to have like 50 some tie downs in it that gets them saying yes that many times. And then when it comes, you're conditioning them. Problem, solution, problem, solution, problem, solution, problem, solution. What's the problem with kids? They're going missing. What's the problem with healthcare? It's cost too much. What's the problem with benefits? Not permanent. What's the problem? We're going to give them problem, solution, problem, solution.
Is that
Yeah.
Aubrey?
You what?
Was it Aubrey?
Yes, it was Aubrey.
Oh, okay. Aubrey, also just to add one thing, like I had that problem in the beginning too, because I thought I was being a little too nice. It's fine to build rapport, but once you get into your presentation with the younger guys, you have to be more serious because they need to take it serious. You should also be making it seem like they're extremely far behind. Like everyone else does this when they're 18, like you don't have coverage, like you're behind. We have to take this seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Christina.
No problem, girl.
Casey, how long were your sits like in the field?
For single guys, for single guys or gals, we always went over the radio station. They listen to WIIFM. What's in it for me radio. So you got to sell what's in it for them. You're obviously selling the cash, their future family. Maybe they want to buy a home, mortgage protection down the road. It's never going to be cheaper than it is today. You can qualify, return of premiums. Look, you get all this money back and you protect your family, future family. I want to go ahead and do me a favor, Joe. Go ahead and hold your future child in your arms. And I want you to imagine what you're going to feel like and how protected you're going to feel with your future child's mortgage being taken care of, your income protected, even though you're a single guy right now. Doesn't that feel amazing?
Paint the picture a little bit.
I have a question for like Zoom stuff.
Zoom stuff?
Well, Zoom, because I'm like.
Well, hey, I have a tip for everybody really quick. Now we're talking about Zoom. Make sure I have the picture right here. Let me look at this for you. You unlock your Zoom settings. It's share screen. Enable the remote control of all applicants has to be checked.
They can do the thing at the end.
Mm-hmm. In your Zoom settings, if you click share screen, and then there's a check mark that's enable the remote control of all applicants. That's how you get them to do the Zoom signature on there. A bunch of people have asked me that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I've been doing the DocuSign and it's just a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot easier. You want to do it that way. And all you do, you click at the top, remote control, give keyboard when the signature box is up.
Or I have them do it, or just pretend to know.
I mean, I let them know like.
Absolutely. Yeah, it makes it a lot easier and you can have them just type right in there. So the key is having the signature box up with the cursor in it and then giving them remote control of the keyboard.
The DocuSign kind of scares me because they send it off. Like
Yeah, it takes too long.
Yeah, it doesn't come right away. Yeah.
Takes too long.
But I have a question. So like, obviously, like when you're sitting with someone, or it's like a husband or wife or just one person and they're like at a stationary, like if they have their laptop, like I haven't really seen too much of a problem with it. Where like they're not like getting up and going somewhere. And if they are, I'm like, all right, we're just gonna wait for Joe to come back or whatever. But like I noticed that when people are on their phones and especially if they have kids, they're like running around. Like I'm like, bro, like, and even if I'm trying to be like, hey, like, you know, like, are you still listening or whatever? They're like, no, I hear you. But I'm like, you're obviously doing something else. And so I'm like, how do I like get back to that? Because I feel like it's like I'm like a broken record. Like you still, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I've like definitely sold people that are still doing this, that, and the other while they're on the Zoom. But at the same time, I'm like, I actually want you to hear this. Like, how can I like do that without feeling I'm repeating myself 50 times? Because at a certain point, they're just gonna be like, yeah, I'm still listening. Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm still listening. But I'm like, are you though? Like
I would be like,
okay,
you know,
what did I
do you
just
ever
say?
go to like, this is very important. I don't want you to really miss anything. So are you able to
Like
be stationary? So,
because like I feel like they don't, like if they have kids, like I have people that are literally they're like feeding their kid and I'm like,
I just
I can't tell you
reschedule them.
not to
Like
feed
if
your
they're
kid.
in their car, I don't like that.
no, I
Like,
don't do that either. But if they're at home, like sometimes I'm like, I'm not just gonna tell you to like not like feed your kid. Like,
right.
Yeah, because what if they buy it and then they're like, wait a minute.
well, I can't. I mean, you can't. It's like if you have a baby, like you have to feed them. Like,
One lady that you saw, like literally that same case when we were out, and I was like, oh, you know what? I can't really hear you. I do want to make sure that we can both hear each other properly. Do you mind going to maybe a quieter room? And she did. She just
That's also control. I mean, that's control.
This couple stopped cooking their dinner and they like sat down and talked.
In the home, it was control. You say, you know, hey, do me a favor, Joe. Can you turn that down? This is very important. I don't want you to miss anything for your family. I've actually been enrolling members all morning. Can you grab me a glass of water? Like, you know, control. Can you actually, hey, can you get Mary to sit over here and you sit here? That way I can see both of you and you can stop me if you have any questions. Just, you know, go like this.
I'm pretty sure Ashley's asking them if they have a charger too. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I do
having a
that.
charger.
100%.
I tell them to bring a charger.
Add the charger. Yeah, that's huge because we've all had that client filling out the account routing and their phone dies.
Oh my gosh.
If you haven't, you probably will one day. Right?
Yes, yeah. Or they
Good
lose
stuff.
their Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah, I'm going through a tunnel. Wi-Fi's bad. Click. Avoid that one.
I had a guy hang up on me and then text me and tell me his phone died. I was like, where are you texting me from?
Wow, I never heard that one.
What?
That's interesting.
It was funny.
But hey, we just got to put the pressure on the numbers and the system. Get to the 10 to 15 presentation a week. That's going to guarantee your success. And when you're adding referrals in there, that's the answer. And personal recruits. So that's it for today, guys. Any other questions? I think we got time for maybe one quick one. Anybody else?
I just had a quick question.
Really quick.
How, when you were in the field and home, were you still like an hour and a half? Or they got a little longer?
You know, his question was in home, what were my sits still? It was probably about the same.
Wow. Dang. I hear like 3
If not, yeah, it was about the same. You'll get better. Our big thing's the e-app. Like I just learned, you got to value your time. We're in 100% commission sales, right? So you got to value your time and their time, but build it up and do everything. So I'd rather you take a little more time and explain it rather than rushing through it. You know what I mean? You definitely want to take back and make sure you're solidifying all the business because quality is the most important thing along with everything else. Having high quality, making sure you're using your solidification. They're going to keep the program, that you're following up, you're returning their calls, you're sending the thank yous, all that stuff. It's everything. There is no secret. The secret to success is there is no secret. It's all everything.
I think it's like a Netflix series.
The secret? Yeah, watch it. It's good.
But that's what it's called. The
So yeah, definitely watch it. It's a show. It's a book, really. It's about your mind, your thinking. You can actually, you know, will things to happen with your thinking. Manifestation. Yeah, right.
Believe it. Do it.
Absolutely, guys. So let's bring it home this weekend. Let's make a splash. I want to see you guys rocking some big things on GroupMe here. Let's get some referrals. Post your referrals you collected. Let's put up some big numbers, and we'll be thinking about you. Come on, let's bring it. Later, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See ya.
Later.
Casey.
Thanks,
Peace.
guys.